Welcome to Behind the Curtain IMO. I'm Betsy Jordan. I thought I'd do something a little fun today, and it involves asking 3 questions. I heard this on a coach's, someone was filming a coach making a presentation, and I heard this and I thought, this is such a clever thing. I'd like to share it. So I have shared it among my friends and among my family, and so I share it with you now. So when you're trying to get to know someone, there are some questions that you can ask that are supposedly indicative of certain traits within a person. And whether this is true or not true, it's kind of fun. So I'm going to do it. And I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite color? And then tell me 3 deep reasons why. And then, what is your favorite animal? I'd like to know 3 deep reasons why your favorite animal is your favorite animal. And what is your favorite form or body of water? And 3 deep reasons why or why not. Now let me just give you, for example, favorite color, mine is teal, and it's because it is like, it represents like a peaceful abundance, that color to me. And then I like it on me. I like the color on me. And it's bright, but it's not loud. So that's an example of 3 deep reasons why I like the color teal. And what I'd invite you to do is to share your answers with me. You can do it on the page, or you can direct message me. And in a little bit, 2 or 3 videos from now, I'll tell you what that tells me about you. Not specifically, I won't single anyone out, but I'm going to invite you to play this game. And I'll also tell you my answers so that it's fair, right? Actually, I'll be more revealing than you will be, because I'm sharing it with everyone. But it's kind of an interesting thing. And, you know, psychology has become more important. I mean, we heard more psychological terms bannered about during the 2016 election than ever before. And I want to give a shout out to Marty Ireland and Terry Quatman. I hope I'm saying that correctly. They wrote this book, America's Psychological Now. All right? It is enlivening the social and collective unconscious in a time of urgency. I am reading with very heightened interest in this book, but it you know, these questions were come up with by a person who is interested in studying human development and psychology. And the terms that we've heard bannered about, you know, in terms of mental health, become more and more in the mainstream or zeitgeist of our conversations. And as we understand more about that, because it is a field that is becoming more accepted for people to need to address mental health issues, there's a stigma that's been lifted off of getting the kind of counseling or coaching or therapy that along with the body, the mind has its own, you know, doctors, and it's responsible to take care of your own mental health. And certainly with the divisiveness in our country, we have been looking more at mental health issues. And mental health issues are pretty obvious. A friend told me that she was walking by a homeless person, and that person just came right up to her and hit her, punched her right in the face. Now, her tendency was to be compassionate, but the truth is that the woman who did that probably doesn't even remember that she did it. So we've got a mental health crisis in our country, and we don't know what happened with that woman, why she was behaving the way she was behaving, nothing like that. We have seen people in extreme situations be suffering from something called PTSD. And PTSD, called post-traumatic stress disorder, is something that can affect us all, right? It's born out of trauma. And the trauma becomes normalized. But then when you come home and you don't have that traumatic situation that you're in anymore, you begin to act out. like something's missing, right? Or acting inappropriately, overreacting to certain things. And so we are beginning to look at that as something that we need to care about within our military, for sure. But that's an obvious situation where you would experience post-traumatic stress, particularly when killing other human beings becomes normalized. It's not normal, right? It's not normal for human beings to want to kill each other. And I don't want it to be normal, right? So it's important to address mental health issues. It's important to acknowledge them. There are circumstances for people who were protesting where they saw people being beaten in front of them. That's traumatic. There are a lot of terms being bannered about, like narcissism. What causes narcissism? Well, it's childhood trauma. Okay, so what causes childhood trauma? What kinds of trauma can be identified? And then you've probably heard the term hurt people hurt people. Well, I think you can start to see patterns perhaps in your own life where you've seen someone who has been a child of an abusive situation and they become the abuser. The perpetrator, the victim becomes the perpetrator. The perpetrator becomes the victim. And that cycle can be broken, but not without critical thinking, not without looking at the situation and going, this needs to be interrupted, this needs to be stopped. We have a dysfunction in our country. And that dysfunction is our divisiveness and our tendency to want to turn everything into red and blue, or everything into black and white, or everything into partisan Republican or Democrat. Everything being politicized without looking at, hey, we're human beings. We're human beings. And we have our foibles. And, part of our strength, of course, is being able to understand each other's differences. So I will excitedly await your answers to those questions. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite animal? What's your favorite body of water? And 3 deep reasons why. And I just remembered I need to thank Teal Swan for this. She's the woman who actually said this in her coaching session. And I picked it up, and it has been very, very interesting. And I mean interesting in the complete ambiguity of the word. But I will tell you what it means in a later video. Okay, this is Behind the Curtain IMO. Thank you for being here.